So, how good was this news last night? Hearing that the government was actually pulling out the clause and adding time to the submission process on the Conservation Act amendment. This has been a really fascinating one because there's a lot of noise out there, and National MPs for the last week have gone into overdrive, trying to tell people that they would never selling conservation. No, no. But they wouldn't take the bit of the act out that allowed that to happen. They would like, well, no, we need it in there to do this and this and this. But they don't. There's already provisions for that in other acts. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff that's wrong with this act as well that changes the focus of what DOC does from something that's purely about helping and caring for the environment and conservation to being a little bit more commercial in what it does. So there's a ton wrong there. But looking at the comments, because I posted this on my Facebook page last night, looking at the comments that were garnered in the first couple of hours, they kind of split into two. One was, well, yeah, of course they did. It's an election year and this is an unpopular thing, so this makes it look like they're listening to people. And the other one was, yeah, they did, but it's national. Do you trust them? And that skepticism is a really interesting point because 3 years ago there were people who did trust them. And that's part of the reason why we're in the mess that we're in now. But the number of people here are like, no, this is national. What they're going to do is exactly what they did with like the Treaty Principles Bill. Pull it back and then put it in place some other way. Or try and get that information out there in some other place. Or put in place the frameworks and structures that we're going to achieve those same goals. People are really wary. And I'm glad, but I want you to use it as a reminder that you need to be enrolled to vote this year before the election period starts. So you've got until the 25th of October, because if you're not, you don't get to vote this year. And so make sure your details are up to date, because there are people who do have very short memories who aren't as wary of promises that have been made and then pulled back, and for some of them, they're actually really keen to see it get up and running. I saw an example of this over the last couple of days as well, when the National Party posted, I think it was this picture here with King Chippy and Queen Chloe, because, nothing freaks out National Party members quite like bad AI. But they were putting there talking, this is all about promises and taxes and the amount of money you're going to get. Like, where's my $250 that I was promised each fortnight that you guys promised us at the last election? That ended up only going to 3,000 people or 3,000 families across the entire country. And the number of National Party supporters in the comment section are like, yeah, right, that never happened, prove it. We've got the media articles, we've got everything on record. It's all very easy to find. But the willful blindness to not seeing what they don't want to see, and it's the same for the left, it's the same for every political party, that's a real problem. We need to be much better at thinking critically about what information is given to us so that we can make more informed decisions. But if we've got people who are being willfully blind to really negative outcomes because they want to cheer on their team, we should be concerned. And that's a really good reason to make sure that you are enrolled to vote. Go to vote.nz, make sure your details are all up to date, and then you should be good to go from October 26th this year.